The 2026 Republican collapse, lessons from Canada's 1993 election. In 1993, Canada witnessed a political earthquake, one so powerful it shattered a century-old party overnight. The Progressive Conservatives, once Canada's natural governing party, collapsed from a commanding majority of 169 seats to just 2 seats. It remains the most devastating election defeat in Canadian history, and a stark warning about what happens when a political movement forgets the people it serves. After nearly a decade in power, Prime Minister Brian Mulroney's government was exhausted, burdened by scandal, recession, and deep regional divides. When Mulroney stepped down, Canadians hoped his successor, Kim Campbell, might represent renewal and reform. But the anger ran deeper than any new face could fix. Years of arrogance, broken promises, and a sense that government power served only itself had eroded public trust. On election night, that frustration exploded. A nation turned away from the establishment, and in a single day, the mighty Conservative Party was reduced to political rubble, from 169 seats to 2. The country moved on without them. 30 years later, that collapse still echoes, this time, south of the border. In the United States, the Republican Party stands at a crossroads. It faces a choice between renewal and ruin, between principle and personality. Once the party of Lincoln, it now orbits a single man, Donald Trump. And looming over it all is Project 2025, a plan to reshape American government in the image of absolute control. It promises to purge public servants, weaken checks and balances, and bend the institutions of democracy to the will of one ideology. It speaks not of unity, but domination. Not of freedom, but fear. But history whispers a warning. Extremism sells headlines, not hope. Ideological purity wins applause from the faithful, but it repels the majority who crave stability, civility, and honesty. In 1993, Canadians didn't just reject policies, they rejected arrogance. They rejected the idea that loyalty could be demanded rather than earned. They rejected a government that had stopped listening. And when that day came, democracy responded with precision. The voters erased the ruling party from power. They rebuilt their political landscape from the ground up, with new voices, new movements, and a renewed sense of accountability. The Republican Party now stands on the same fault line. Its alliance with Donald Trump and his Project 2025 agenda may ignite a movement, or trigger its own collapse. For many Americans, the line between patriotism and authoritarianism has never been clearer. Democracy doesn't die in one election. It dies in silence, when people stop believing their voices matter. In 1993, Canadians roared. They reminded their leaders who truly holds power. And in 2025, Americans may have to do the same. Because history doesn't just repeat itself. It warns those who listen.